Alrighty, gang. Let's talk about stelliums in your natal chart. Let's dig into that real quick. So shout out to everybody with some stellium gang in the building. You feel me? I got some stellium shit. I got me a couple of them boys. But before I dive into stelliums, one thing I want everybody to understand, in which a lot of y'all done heard me say what I'm about to say already. When we look at your natal chart and we look at the houses that you have planets in, those houses are of major significance. All right, you sign contracts to have planets in those houses so you can stay active, so you can experience, so you could gain your awareness in this house, so you could spiritually develop in this area. All right, in comparison to the houses that are empty in your natal chart. The empty houses in your natal chart more so indicate areas that you took care of your spiritual business there to an extent. So those areas are not as much of a significance as the houses you have planets in. All right, I want y'all to understand that, stellium or not, it could be one planet. So if we know one planet has that much of a significance, then what does that mean when you have a stellium, aka 3 or more planets in a sign or a house? This indicates an energy or an area of your life, aka zodiac sign or a house, that is extremely active in this lifetime. It don't matter what you do, there will always be a situation dealing with that energy, the zodiac sign that you have a stellium in, or that house, aka an area of your life that you have that stellium in, that will pull your attention and make you have to deal with situations there. Because like I said, this is an area of major significance. So you're gonna go through a lot of transformations dealing with that energy of that house. You know, you're gonna go through a lot of highs and lows with that energy in that house. You know, you're gonna have some discouraging moments in that house, but you're gonna have a lot of natural opportunity in that house and with that energy by default. So, you know, light and dark side to everything, pros and cons to everything. Y'all know Lucky Libra finna bring the balance. Now, with all of that being said, there's two ways we can look at stelliums. A stellium can either represent an energy that you were spiritually lacking with, and you needed to develop that energy, so you manifested all of these planets in that house or in that sign in order to keep you active so you could build your experience with that energy. Or it can represent an energy or a house that you was extremely active with in the previous lifetime before you transitioned. So this lifetime, you're picking up where you left off. All right. So if the sun is a part of the stellium, then you know this is an area that, you know, needed some development. You weren't really active with this area or that energy in a past life. All right, so that's very important. If the sun is in the mix, that's an area that needs some motherfucking awareness. So a stellium in a fire sign or a firehouse indicates you doing a whole bunch of learning and experiencing when it comes to self-expression. You know, learning how to control your expression, learning how to utilize your visions, because y'all some creative motherfuckers. You feel me? But you got to learn how to utilize that shit. And also, you will attract a lot of extra expressive motherfuckers in your life. And life can be really fast. You could be real quick paced. You know, it could be hard for you to get stable at times if you have a fire stellium. So you have to make sure that you're able to ground yourself in order to see how you're going to utilize your visions and your creativity and your insight overall, because y'all intuitive as hell. If you have a stellium in a water sign or a water house, that's going to indicate a lot of experiencing, and you're going to be pretty active when it comes into developing emotional intelligence, dealing with the subconscious, understanding connection, understanding what affects your emotional and mental well-being. Now you guys are intuitive and creative as hell too, but shit, you gotta learn how to channel that shit a little bit, because, you know, emotions obviously can be everywhere. You could go through a lot of emotional up and downs. You could be emotionally unstable as hell, you know? So that's part of the things that you have to learn dealing with that heavy water current. But a lot of y'all super creative, intuitive, and have strong healing capabilities. All right, so you gotta learn how to channel that shit. Now, if you got a stellium in an earth sign or an earth house, you here to build some shit. You are here to build some shit, all right? I don't know what you finna build. I don't know if it's gonna be a career. I don't know if it's gonna be a motherfucker, some houses, but you building something. But no bullshit. You're here to understand how to apply yourself and structure, organize things. You know, you're here to understand how to deal with reality and building a foundation in the physical realm. So you could be spiritual as hell, creative, intuitive as hell, but you may have lacked dealing with practicality and reality in the past life. But nonetheless, y'all are very intelligent, all right? And y'all have a lot of gifts when it comes into understanding how to give something structure. Use that motherfucking gift. And lastly, if you got a stellium in an air sign or air house, yeah, you finna go through all type of experiences, transformations, ups and downs when it comes into relationships, dealing with people. If you got an air stellium, when you single, you really need to be doing some shadow work and understanding things from your past relationships. Like, you need to be learning from your relationship experiences. You cannot be getting into one relationship and jumping into another one, because if you have a lot of air energies, you most likely going to be dealing with a lot of interaction, a lot of people, possibly even a lot of options, dating options. So you need to make sure you're stable with that. But nonetheless, y'all hella intelligent, hella smart. A lot of y'all is great communicators. So, you know, you want to use those gifts in the areas where it's productive at.